Alright, g'day guys and welcome back today to another Obsidian video. Today we're going to be looking at a new piece of functionality that's been delivered to us by a new community developer called Sykes. He's over on the official Discord channel and likes to sort of spend his time in the TTRPG channel if you'd like to go and see what he's up to, but he's always sort of pushing the boundaries on what Obsidian can do in regards to new looks and feels and how to lay out information in really cool ways. One of the things he's developed for us over the last couple of weeks is this weather generator, and as you can see already on my screen here, like this is an output of what it actually looks like. So it's a really fantastic piece of tool and functionality for randomly generating, or even telling it what sort of weather and season that you're currently in for your game, so you can use that to provide a bit more depth into your sessions. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump over and have a look. Alright, so in front of me you can see I've got Obsidian running. We've got the hurricane, so we know today we've got a hurricane, the wind's howling, temperature's relatively normal. We're in full currently, it's going to be a nice warm day, and looks like tonight's going to be lightly cloudy with a little bit of wind. Fantastic, right? Like if the players ask what sort of day it is, you can instantly really sort of come to it. But check this out. If we go, I'm going to press Alt-N here and type in weather. We get the weather template. We get two options here. We get weather template and weather specified. So we'll do the template first. Alright, we have two options here for a horizontal layout and a vertical layout. So this one here is the horizontal. I'll show you the vertical next. Let's say it's a summer day. Alright, it resets the code. And here we go. Let's do that again. This time we'll go back to horizontal. We'll go winter. Back into preview mode, and boom, we've got a new day with new sort of weather predictions. So really sort of fantastic piece of functionality. It's really quite simple too, in that it is just text and pictures, but setting it up is a little bit of a process. So we're going to step through that and show you guys how to do that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need a link to his GitHub. So github.com/sykes/templates will take you to the page where you need to download this. And what you want to do is come in here to the code button, drop that down and press download zip. Alright, so that's going to download a zip file for you. You can see I've downloaded it a few times already. There's a readme file here, but you can see the bit we're after is actually the weather generator. So if you click in here, you can actually see a bit of a readme file about how this thing works and what you can do with it. So weather generator, obviously it's a random weather generator. It does require Obsidian templater. Alright, so let's go through and get that installed. You go down here to settings, you come down here to community plugins, we go to community plugins, browse, type templater. I'm going to do a video on templater as well, guys. Like it's a really cool plugin. So templater, it's an upgraded version of the templates core plugin that comes with Obsidian. So you can see I've got that installed. You'll obviously have an option there to install it and then enable it. And as always, I recommend you go through and read the README file and have a look at what's going on here. Alright, so we've got templater installed that way. We've got templater enabled. I do recommend that you do a reload. So open command palette and go reload app without saving. We'll reload Obsidian. I tend to do that whenever I make big changes. So if I'm installing a fairly significant plugin or some new CSS or something, I'll generally do that just to make sure everything is reset properly. But open command palette reload, it's always a good option. Alright, so we've got templater installed. Alright, what else do we require? So it's got some files here. Alright, so there's a weather generator .js. JS stands for JavaScript, so the JavaScript will be running through this. There's a weather template.md. MD file just been a normal sort of text document or markdown document. And there's some CSS in here as well and some images. So we're just going to go through and set this up. And obviously I've downloaded this before. So we come in here, we find the templates.main, and we come in here to the weather generator folder. And these are the files that you really need to do something with. Alright, so I'm just going to set myself up here where this needs to go. Here's my vault. This is probably going to do all sorts of funny things. Let's see if we can set this up. Alright, so right hand side here I've got the weather generator files, left hand side here I've got the Obsidian vault, which is my vault. So let's go through and have a look. So images, we need to have the images somewhere. All right, these are all the images that are referenced. So what you do is you put it somewhere. Now most of us have an assets folder. So for me, z_assets, and inside here I have a weather folder. All right, that's where I've just basically dragged all of the images straight over. Okay, and that just ensures that the application can reference those images when it's necessary. All right, now we come back here to the weather generator folder. We've got a README. Don't necessarily need that. We've got a weather specified and a weather template.md. These are actually templates. So I've got them in my templates folder. Okay, you could have a subfolder in here, but it just needs to be in the folder that you specify for your templates. Now, while we're on that, let's jump back to Obsidian and have a quick look at Templater. I'll be down here. All right, so templates is the standard out-of-the-box template plugin that comes with Obsidian. And obviously you need to set a template folder location, which I've done here, which allows you to reference, any templates inside there. Templater works the same way. All right, so I've set it up with my z_templates. So you'll start like this, and you just need to come in here and type your folder. All right. Another thing that you do need to do is have a hotkey. So let's just go through and have a look at this, and you need to set up user script function. All right, so let's just set the hotkey up first. So we'll go to hotkeys, type in templater. All right, create new note from template. Default is at Alt-N. All right, so I've kept that, I haven't changed it, but press Alt-N and that will trigger the templater plugin. All right, so like this, Alt-N. All right, type a name of a template, and this is where you can type the weather in or whatever. All right, so that's how you set up your hotkey. But now if we go back to the settings, there's something else that we need. We need to set up a folder for scripts. And the scripts is where we're going to have the JavaScript running. All right, so let's just go through and have a look at that. This one here, I've got too many of these open. That's going to be the last one I try. There we go. Okay, so what I've done is I've just made a folder called scripts. Now, to be honest, I'm not happy with the way this is. I'm probably going to call it z_scripts. That way it will obviously all just A to Z to the bottom. It's going to sort to the bottom. But I have a scripts folder. I just made a folder called scripts. All right, inside the folder is where you drag these two JS files. All right, so drag them in. And there, off we go. And if we go back to Obsidian, we then need to set up the user scripts function to use that folder. Okay, so it's got a list of all the folders. If you just start typing the name of your folder, it'll come up, mine is scripts. Then you can click refresh, and it should pick up the fact that you've got this weather generator and weather generator specified. All right, then once we've got that set up, let's head on back here and have a look at the last step, which is some CSS. So we've got a weather generator and a weather generator vertical. All right, these need to go in your vault, in your .obsidian folder, in your snippets folder. This is where all the CSS goes. So drag those into here. All right, you can see those are there. All right, and then if we go back to Obsidian and we go into settings and appearance, and then come down here, you can click reload snippets. You can come down here, you should see that these are both here. Now you want to enable both of these. All right, at this point I would recommend you just come over here to open command palette and just do a reload. All right, we've added a lot of things. This will just make sure it picks everything up and has all the settings. Once it reloads though, you should be good to go. All right, you can press Alt-N to validate that you've got your templates working. And it's referencing everything in my templates folder, so I've got a lot more in there than just the weather stuff. But if I type weather, we now have the weather template with the weather specified. So let's try the specified one. We're going to go the horizontal layout. It's winter, daily weather, raining with mostly cloudy, daily wind, high. I'm the weather guy. Warmer, nightly weather, cold, with rain show, nightly wind, high. There we go. Alright, you can see that that's basically filled that out with my details. So that's another option as well, is you don't have to use the random generator. You can just come in here and just go, oh, I'm going to tell you what sort of weather I want. Now, how you're going to use this in your game, I mean, there's all sorts of ideas here, right? Like you could have a note for the next session and you might predetermine the weather just by rolling it up and having it at the top of a note, for example. Another thing that you can do is you can drag it into this. Alright, it's probably better at you do a vertical. Let's go vertical layout if you're going to put it in here. Alright, so if I put it in here, we can actually have, I'm going to close that one. We can have the vertical over here in the pane. So that way, you know, when you're running your game, you don't necessarily have to, you know, be switching back and forth and see it. You can actually just have one over here. I don't think you can actually do this though over here. Doesn't preview. Yeah, no, it's different. So, I mean, I'd love to have something over here as a plugin, to be completely honest. If anyone's got the capability of doing that, imagine like just having a tab up here for weather, and you can just press a button and it just generates a new random weather pattern for the day that you're running. I think that'd be really cool. Another way you could do this, obviously, is just drag it into, you know, you can drag it anywhere, but you can drag it over to this side instead. So that way you've got your weather preview always up the top. It's a bit of playing around, but you get the idea. Alright, or just have a new note and just go Alt-N, weather. We're going to go horizontal and it's going to be full. Alright, then you've got your weather, and then you can just go on and say session prep notes. This is my session. Let's roll dice. Alright, so it's very easy to use. I love the way it looks. It's just visually very appealing, and it's just such a fantastic thing. It's like, you know how you've been using these tools for so many years, and you just look at this and you go, huh, I kind of wish I'd had this all along. This is just one of those things that just I now know has been missing from my life. So thank you, Sykes. I'm absolutely loving this functionality. I will include a link down the bottom to the GitHub so you guys can go and get this. But yeah, very, very simple to use. And obviously, if you guys are looking to engage with the community, I do recommend you jump into the Obsidian members group. Alright, it's the official Discord, and down here is the tabletop games, and this is largely where we're starting to see Sykes sort of hanging out. Also, you know, if you want to speak to SirVB, you know, developer of the alternative ITS theme, or Javelin, the developer of all the, you know, so many plugins. This is where the chat is happening. Alright, so there's so many people in here. Javelin even has his own plugin support. If you are looking for that, by the way, it is it's a bit harder to find. You've got to go into tabletop games, come into here to threads, alright, and then from there you can go to the Javelin support thread, and that's where Javelin hangs out. Always helping people with everything he does, so fantastic. So I just want to say a huge thanks to the three of you, to be honest. Like, you are my three call outs for this entire community. You are making D&D and tabletop RPGing so much better using Obsidian, so thank you to all. But yeah, anyway guys, that has been how to do weather generation. You know, really hope that's useful for you. Can't wait to see some screenshots of you guys using it in your games. So anyway, hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you on the forums.